Hey, yo, shout out to Moves Recordings for this excellent t-shirt. I copped this at their 5-year anniversary party with No Signal. Shout out to No Signal Radio, premier black radio based here in London, UK. Shout out to Moves. So I just wanted to say, also got Abigail Sante on here. We reacted to her on this channel before. Got like hella people, so check this out. Alright, let's get into it. Hi, I'm Blessing Makosha and you're watching No Ghostwriter. Follow no_ghostwriter on Twitter and Instagram and No Ghostwriter on TikTok. We're breaking down rap for the rappers and putting you onto the best independent, authentic and underground hip hop. This is Hip Hop Uncovered, where we talk about topics in hip hop culture that aren't discussed enough or deserve to be discussed from a perspective free from misogynoir, clout chasing and focused on the skill of writing bars with no ghostwriter. For more content, including a live stream of our monthly No Ghostwriter Live Cypher and other exclusive content and early access, then make sure that you join the No Ghostwriter Patreon. It's patreon.com/No Ghostwriter, and you'll also be able to see full extended cuts of our Clout Is Not Currency podcast, which streams over on YouTube and also on Patreon and all of your favorite streaming providers. Tickets are on sale for our next No Ghostwriter Live event here in London, Shoreditch. So make sure that you have checked out the link in the description to get your tickets. There's limited capacity. And if you're watching this in a later day and you still want to come, then check our Eventbrite page in the description to get access to our next event. And of course, if you're on the Patreon, you can watch live from anywhere in the world. And you can also watch previous live streams of No Ghostwriter Live. So you get a lot of content when you join our Patreon, so I really suggest you do it, and of course you're supporting the channel, so we appreciate you. In this video, we're going to be talking about the significance of Roman Zolanski, one of Nicki Minaj's alter egos behind some of her most iconic tracks, including Roman's Revenge, Roman Reloaded, and Roman Holiday. Nicki actually performed Roman Holiday at the Grammys in 2012 and was one of the first female rappers, the first female rapper to perform solo at the Grammys. So Roman is iconic, and if you'd like me to do a video on the significance of Nicki's first solo female rap performance at the Grammys and also the impact that that performance and her decision to perform that day had on her career, there's a whole backstory behind it, then please let me know in the comments and we will add that to our list of videos to create for the channel. So before we get into the video, I want to thank our sponsor, Surfshark VPN, for sponsoring this video. So it's absolutely no surprise that we all live our entire lives on the internet now. And one of the things that a lot of us are doing more and more is using the internet for not just our streaming, but also for how we use our internet banking, how we shop, how we communicate, and also how we consume our music and content. And sometimes we can find that you can't access something because of where you are in the world, or your geographical location prevents you from being able to access and use certain platforms. So with that, you can use Surfshark VPN to not only securely protect the data that you share on the internet from anyone unwanted seeing it. And by the way, if you're watching this right now in a public place, whether that's a university, a school, or a Wi-Fi hotspot, then you need to have a VPN if you want to be protecting your data from just anybody on the internet trying to check you out. So that's what Surfshark VPN does. Gives you a nice protected surfing experience and also allows you to change your location so you can view content and access things outside of the country you're in, or when you're on holiday and you miss the creature comforts of home, you can still access them using Surfshark VPN. So thank you Surfshark for sponsoring us in this video. And if you use the link in our description or my code Blessing Makosha, you'll get 83% off, your first 3 months free, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it's a really great deal, if I do say so myself. And for just the cost of a few coffees, you can protect yourself on the internet from all sorts of different malicious attacks. So thank you very much, Surfshark, for sponsoring this video. And now let's talk about Roman Zolanski. Roman. Oh, who is Roman Zolanski? So Roman Zolanski, as I mentioned, is one of Nicki Minaj's rap alter egos. make sure you check out our video on the channel where we talked about alter egos and how a lot of rappers seem to be forcing having an alter ego rather than it coming from a true and organic place. And also during this video, we're going to be referring to some of the comments that you guys have left under our alter ego videos. So if you would like to see your comments and your thoughts shared on No Ghostwriter, then please like our videos, leave a comment and subscribe. But make sure you join on the Patreon, because we actually talk to you all on the Patreon and offer you the opportunity to be part of the video production process. So if you would like to contribute to elements of the No Ghostwriter scripts that we produce for the video, if you'd like to share your ideas, like to share references with us that we want us to think about, then join us on Patreon. So in terms of what Roman Zolanski represents and why he's so popular for a lot of Nicki's fans, it's because he really does go against the grain. He challenges pretty much everything that's expected of him and everything that's expected of rappers. And before we had the iconic Roman Reloaded, we actually had Roman in Moscow, which is a song with no bridge and no hook. And these are all things that are essential elements required to construct a song. So Roman in Moscow having no chorus, no hook, or no third verse, and Nicki does say this in the lyrics. She said, ain't no motherfucking bridge, ain't no motherfucking hook, ain't no motherfucking verse. And she goes off. And I'm just gonna listen to Roman in Moscow now. And if you're watching this on Patreon, then we'll play the full clip of the Roman in Moscow verse. But if you're watching on YouTube, because you know YouTube be apping, I'm not going to be able to play the content in full on here. But I just want to get into Roman and just embrace and appreciate the Roman of it all, because I feel like Roman is just one of a kind. Roman in Moscow, wow, like that just suddenly felt like I just got shocked. Like, I'm awake. It is currently like 3:15 UK time, and I'm ready to go for a jog. I'm ready to punch someone up. I'm ready to fight. Roman. So if you want us to do a pen talk and really get into why that is a sensational verse from Nicki Minaj, I'm very happy to do it. But the fact of it is that Roman ultimately just challenges the traditional way that rappers perform and construct their verses, and is a technically gifted lyrical assassin. Roman is incredible. Like that Roman in Moscow, just the way she opens up with that, Roman goes crazy. So talking about Roman Zolanski in 2021 is important. And the reason for that is that many people, including us on the No Ghostwriter team, believe that hip-hop is not being preserved well at the moment. And we've talked a lot about the commercialization of culture. We've talked about gatekeeping in the culture. And all of those videos are available on the channel, and you can check those out. But with the rise of TikTok and the decline in song length and quality, alter egos do help to create spaces where artists can tell stories from different and often non-commercially appropriate perspectives. And something we mentioned as well in our video on alter egos and in other videos on the channel, we talked about MF Doom, and we talked about the significance of him being the masked villain. And with him being the masked villain, you know, he did that to deliberately challenge commercialization of hip hop. So that's just one thing to think about. You know, alter ego allows rappers to participate in a very commercialized industry like hip hop, but they're able to do it in a way that's more authentic and more true to themselves. So ultimately then, alter egos help artists to speak more freely and help fans to connect to the artist in different ways. And if you see the way people have connected with Roman, like Roman connects with the rebellious people, Roman connects with the people who have been talked down on, the people who've been bullied. You know, that's why a lot of people say Nicki Minaj saved her life and her music saved their lives, because oftentimes her music is the soundtrack to people getting up and persevering through being disrespected, being kicked down, being punched. And Roman is, you know, just so abrasive and focused on, you know, pushing themselves, and will push anyone out of the way, and doesn't care about what their haters say. They'll stomp on his haters. And that is, you know, powerful imagery. And I think right now, with social media being so curated as it is, there is a huge disconnect between the fans and the artist. And the pandemic as well kind of exacerbated the artificialness of social media in some ways, and increased that distance, because fans weren't able to see their artists, they weren't able to like engage, and so the distance between fans and their faves pretty much grew more than ever before. So for many fans, rap is about how likable you are, and not about the real things you have to say to the people listening to your music. And alter ego really can challenge that. And just for a few songs that you can take away, that we'll be sort of using as our reference in this video on Roman, I'll also say all of these songs have just been added, if they weren't already, to our Think Pink playlist. And that's a playlist celebrating Nicki Minaj, her second decade as the reigning queen of hip hop. And we're just adding more and more songs on there that just reflect the fact that she is just the motherfucking GOAT. But yeah, check out Think Pink. Songs that you should see on there. So we've got Raining Man or Raining Men. So Nicki allows Roman to express his personality here through exaggerated charisma and character. There's not much that's said on the song, but she uses Roman's character, so like the actual personification of Roman, to carry her verse through repetitive lyrics and his signature cadence, rather than her having a message which carries the verse. So it creates this huge rush of energy. Roman in Moscow, like we just talked about at the beginning, we talked about how this no chorus, no hook, no, just in crazy, like pure shot of adrenaline. Monster, if you don't know Monster, what do you want me to tell you at this point? But going back and forth is a real key feature of Monster. But going back and forth is traditionally done by rappers. You know, Nicki and Bia did that on Whole Lot of Money remix. Check out our reaction to Whole Lot of Money remix on the channel. But in Monster, Roman goes back and forth with himself, because Nicki's got another alter ego called Barbie. So in there, Roman and Barbie are going at each other. So Nicki is essentially having two rap battles. You know, she's got Roman, Barbie, and then them together fighting each other. It's just iconic. And so Bottoms Up, which is actually on our video of 5 verses that are arguably better than Nicki Minaj's Monster verse, which you should also check out on the channel. Bottoms Up was Roman's first appearance. So a common theme about Roman is that the character of Roman will heavily carry the song or the verse. So that's what makes this song different to Raining Men, for example. So in here, the flow is razor sharp, and the cadence is crazy, and Roman's ability to formulate lyrics extremely rapid speeds is very much emphasized in Bottoms Up. And then the end of Barbie Dreams. Now, a lot of people don't give this the props it deserves. If you want a full dedicated Pen Talk video purely on the end of Barbie Dreams, I would be more than happy to oblige. I think it's incredible content. But the end of Barbie Dreams from the Queen album is Roman. So Roman, we do believe Roman got locked away in boarding school after Roman holiday. Well, at least got sent away. Did make a few appearances here and there, but Roman has, for all intents and purposes, we haven't heard from Roman. We don't know where Roman is. I was hoping Roman would come back for Queen. I remember saying this about, you know, I just want to see Roman come back in NM5. So at the end of Barbie Dreams, we have Roman. So once again, Roman uses the character, the charisma, carries the verse through with flow changes and so many surprise elements. Like, I dare you to try and rap to Barbie Dreams. Like, I actually dare you to try and rap to Barbie Dreams. Bet you can't. I'm working on it. And once I've nailed it, I'm going to come back on the channel. I'll do it on our TikTok. I'll do me flawlessly killing Barbie dreams. So make sure you follow us on TikTok so you can check that out. So within this whole subject of alter ego and, you know, the significance of Roman, why Roman is so special and why Roman needs to come back like yesterday, is because a lot has been said about this disconnect between fans and artists. So what's worth exploring is, you know, the question of what has changed then, and why do alter egos play an important role in making this connection between fans and artists. So we already talked about this before, and we talked about previous alter egos that we discussed in our video on alter ego. So I just want to reference here this comment from Danny D under our alter ego video on No Ghostwriter. The alter egos of artists in the 2000s seemed more genuine and naturally a part of that artist's personality that flowed well with their musical artistry. Nowadays, artists' alter egos seem forced and manufactured, where you can blatantly tell that their alter egos are just there as part of their marketing gimmicks. So marketing gimmicks and alter ego, I think it's important we talk about it. It's no lie that, you know, people will look at the legends in hip hop, you know, the Nicki Minaj, the Dooms, whatever. They will see them have an alter ego and they will want to have an alter ego themselves. So they want to show that they themselves also have an alter ego, that they are as iconic. So there's one element of it, but there's also a practical marketing perspective. You want to switch it up with your audience. You know, versatility is key to thriving in business. You know, being able to be versatile and being able to perform quickly. These are really important things. So when you're marketing a brand, and this is something that I experienced, you know, when marketing No Ghostwriter. So I'm the CEO of No Ghostwriter, another brand called Be at the Bar, and I have another couple brands. I do a couple things, make a couple things, and I also do social media marketing with my company Planet Blessing. So if you're ever looking for social media marketing consultation, then you know where to go. But the point is that in my experience running brands and doing all of that, you still see where you need to switch it up. Like, you need to keep it varied. Of course, there are things that you need to just deliver consistently, but above all, I think your power comes from your ability to like give your audience something new. And so I understand why these rappers, you know, want to be giving their audience something new. They want to switch it up. But if it's not you, it's not you. And I think that's basically the point of fans like Danny D and other people, is that if it's alter ego for the sake of a marketing gimmick, it's not gonna have the same powerful impact. And by so many people doing alter ego in this way, it's created a situation in the culture where it's like, unless you are trying to show you've got some sort of alter ego, it's like you don't have, you know, enough for the market, but you're enough on your own. Like, I think the industry's pushing of competition is a good thing, but ultimately it's created this artificial environment where it's like, are rappers doing things because that's really them and it's true to their artistry, or are they doing it because they're hoping it's gonna induce us to buy more of their stuff? Like, these are the questions, America. And I'd love to know your points and your opinions on that. So please leave a comment below. What do you think about this disconnect between artists and fans? And why do you think alter egos play such an important role of bridging the gap between artists and fans and keeping a genuine and authentic connection there? So up next is to talk about Roman specifically. So what is so special about Roman? You know, how is Roman a true alter ego in comparison to other weaker attempts to present alter egos? And we discussed some of those in our video on the channel. And I want you guys in the comments as well to talk about, you know, good and weak attempts of alter ego. But we've got more insight from the comments on the channel. So thank you very much to Isabel Chaparro for your comment here. So Isabel says, when you think about it, having alter egos is very difficult. The individual ego needs to have its own cadence or wordplay while staying on beat with the song. Nicki has switched flows and egos multiple times in her feature verses, and I always took it for granted. So that's really a great point, because, you know, where we've talked about features like Bottoms Up, Monster, Airplanes by B.O.B. So check out all of that stuff, because that's on our 5 verses that are arguably better than Monster video. What we talked about was how there were multiple different egos presented in those verses. So I think the truth of the alter ego then lies in the way the rapper can wield it. Because if the rapper themselves are able to maintain a real and honest artistic representation of their original ego, so their self, then they can also maintain an alter ego, because it is through understanding one's own ego that you understand why an alter ego exists and the specific role you play. Because you need to know what you say as yourself, and you need to know what your alter ego says as your alter. And that's the reason it's an alter ego. It's an ego other than the original one that you've got. And a lot of people, or artists, sorry, they don't actually have a good relationship with their natural ego, so their first ego. You know, so you can't create an alter ego on top of a personality that you haven't fully realized and understood. And I think with Nicki, you can see as well with songs like Dear Old Nicki, you know, she is able to have an understanding of herself, like her natural ego. She knows earrings bamboo, your long nails to BMW. Every time you pulled through, you was a brave heart. You stole Wayne Hart. You never switched it up. You played the same part. You know, she always knew who her original self was. But when she said, I needed to grow and I needed to go, there was some things inside of me that I needed to show. So I just deaded you, left you in all black. Dear old Nicki, please call back. You know, the significance of Dear Old Nicki is that she's saying, look, I understand you are my first ego, but as I've grown and become Nicki Minaj, Roman, Barbie, Chun-Li, Queen Sleaze, you know, whatever she goes by, Papa Bear's mom, you know, she still knows who she is originally. So that's why, as fans, you know, when I'm listening to Nicki, I can tell you, oh, that's Barbie, oh, that's Queen Sleaze, oh, that's Roman, oh, that's Chun-Li. I can tell, because she has a base point that is genuine. And I think that's what's powerful about alter ego. That's what makes a strong alter ego, because it allows the artist to know when to turn it on, when to turn it off, and they communicate that to us. You know, think about it like this. Despite all of the things that are ever said about Nicki Minaj, all of the different critiques and stuff, no one's confused about Roman. No one is confused about her alter egos. No one is confused about when she presents alter egos. And she's maintained that for over 10 years. That is skill. You know, that's a natural, real, organic alter ego. So I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. What do you think? What makes a genuine alter ego in this context? And what do you think, you know, we've talked about what makes Nicki strong in alter egos. What do you think are strong and weak examples of alter egos? Like I said, leave your comments, let me know. We want to see your opinions and thoughts, and we can include them in our next videos. So on to our last point in this topic of Roman Zolanski, why he needs to come back, and alter egos in hip hop. We need to talk about the reality. If Roman was to come back in 2021, how would he be received? That's a really important question to discuss, because since the whole motorsport debacle and Nicki becoming the bad guy, you know, the Chun-Li era, the Queen era, the Hate Train era, and if you haven't watched our essential video on the Hate Train on the channel, please check it out. The Nicki Minaj Hate Train was a real thing that very much did happen. And also check up our follow-up video on hip hop's Nicki Minaj problems since the Hate Train. I think this is very important viewing to understand the Nicki Minaj Hate Train. So obviously with all of that stuff happening, you know, Nicki has dealt with, I would say the press is very hypersensitive towards her. The blogs, yeah, she's mentioned the blogs in many raps. You know, she said, you know, she's referenced Shade Room, she's referenced the blogs, she's referenced them in very recent raps. So these are things she's aware of and she doesn't like them. So she doesn't like them for the fact of how they pick up on things, you know, things end up trending that aren't necessarily savory or favorable to Nicki or her brand or whatever. And so bringing back Roman Zolanski, the legend that gave us Hang It Up, Flat Screen, Stamina, hey Nicki. All right, anyway. I've kept together myself. So bringing back Roman Zolanski in 2021, like, are the people really ready? You know, so I want to read out one of the opinions that we had from a comment on the channel. So this is from Trey Truine. I hope I said your name properly. I'm not sure if they understand the concept of alter egos. It's to be a separate life attitude and tells a different story. But most of these rappers are not artists. Another thing to note is people who have alters have often suffered tremendous trauma in their formative years. So I think this conversation around trauma, around expression of trauma, I think of addressing trauma, I think within the social media age, more and more people are asking for their, you know, traumas to be accounted for. They're asking for celebrities to address traumatic things that they may endorse or support. And I think, although it could be ironic given that Nicki Minaj has been the subject of a lot of different, you know, accusations and things like that, and has been in media storms, you know, with people feeling outraged towards her, bringing back her alter ego that is literally designed to provoke outrage may seem counterintuitive. But I think it could have 2 points. The first positive benefit I think it could have is, at the end of the day, it could prompt us to have a conversation about where alter egos come from. You know, when they're organically created, what space does that come from? And I think we can talk about trauma. We can actually show a bit more empathy towards artists. You know, a lot of people know about Nicki's life and her background, but, you know, even just listening to some of her songs, like Autobiography, will allow you insight to know that Nicki has experienced, you know, violence, drug abuse, domestic violence. She's experienced it as a child. She's seen it. She's experienced it in her own life too. So these things could prompt, you know, Roman to be a catalyst for people to actually start to see and recognize that there is a human being behind this alter ego, a human being that has a story that we should care about, because it could be any of us. And I think the second benefit that alter ego will have is that we've talked about the fact that things aren't genuine anymore and everything's just for TikTok. You know, we talked about how female rap isn't an aesthetic on the channel as well. People are dying for the tea. They need the truth. They need a rapper that's just gonna say it. And I feel like Chun-Li does say things, but Chun-Li is still cute with it. Like, Roman doesn't care. Roman will get in there, get messy. She'll at you, she'll at your mother, she'll at anyone. Sorry, he'll at you, he'll at your mother, he'll at anyone. Roman does not care. So given that Roman does not care, and Roman is gonna do what Roman's gonna do, then I think that 2021 could use a little bit of that energy. You know, everything's starting to get real group thinky up in here. Like, everybody, you know, a lot of things seem to be about like the same thing. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like herd like thinking at the moment, which makes sense. You know, we all went through the pandemic together. We all just trauma bonded over something really deep and serious. And I feel like there's a lot of that on the internet right now, and not a lot of like fun. And I can see the girls like posting throwback Roman captions, like they want what they want, you know what I mean? So I think that Roman could make a real good splash in 2021 if Roman came back. What do you think? Do you think Roman should come back in 2021? And what are some of your opinions on how Roman would be received in this era? Leave your comments below and let us know, because yeah. And so the last point that I wanted to talk about is slightly tangential, but it fits into how Roman's going to be received in 2021. And I quite like this comment. It's teaching us a couple of things, and if you want us to follow up on this topic in future videos, let us know. So Amir Riddle says, I'm surprised that you didn't bring Hopsin into the conversation, at least his older stuff. Haven't listened to him in a while. I think looking at him is interesting. I think Hopsin is an alter ego that was executed skillfully, but his voice was the same as Marcus. So in the long run, it was confusing. It didn't seem like an alter ego and came off as a gimmick. Like the conversations that he portrayed with his alter ego were genuine, but it was kind of thought of, at least by hip hop, as being a reductive Eminem, which is the case for a lot of shock rap. Additionally, I think it's interesting how many people can create alter egos, but also make the distinguishable from Eminem and never receive that comparison. So thank you for that. You brought us onto some tea. So I really appreciate when you guys teach us new things about hip hop. That's very much the idea. So if you don't know, Hopsin is an American rapper. So according to Wikipedia, Hopsin is an American rapper, songwriter, rocker, producer, music video director from LA. In 2007, he signed to Ruthless Records and founded his own record label, Funk Volume, in 2009. And those comparisons to Eminem, apparently. Okay, so that brings us to the conclusions and the final thoughts on this video. So I think overall what we've uncovered from this conversation about alter ego is that Roman Zolanski is one of the most skillfully executed alter egos in hip-hop history. Makes sense because Nicki Minaj is the queen of rap and hip-hop. So what I find interesting though is that alter egos aren't always executed well, and yet we still, allow people to say they're doing things, but they're not actually presenting alters. So my question for you, and my final thought on this, is how do we make sure that when artists present alter egos, and they share themselves, we actually appreciate and show the culture that we do appreciate artistry that's real and genuine? And how do we recognize real and genuine artistry? What are the markers that we use to see when an artist is really using something like alter ego as an effective tool, and when they're just trying to market to us? I'd love to know. Leave your comments like we said, and then as always, make sure that you like this video and subscribe, as well as comment. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our content. YouTube has been moving a little bit crazy recently. It hasn't been telling you about us, so make sure that you secure your spot on the No Ghostwriter team, and subscribe to us on Patreon for exclusive extended cuts, access to early content, and also live streams of our monthly No Ghostwriter live event, so that you can attend virtually no matter where you are in the world. And that's going to be a whole evening of rap and hip hop culture, entertainment, and education. And make sure that you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at @no_ghostwriter, and follow us on TikTok at No Ghostwriter. Thank you again to our sponsor Surfshark for following this video. Make sure you click the link in our description or use the code BlessingMakosha to get your 83% off and your 3 months free with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and protect yourself when surfing on the internet. All right, that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces, and catch you. Bye.